It's another 5-minute mystery. The mystery show where you try to solve the mystery. Keep your ears sharp and see if you can spot the clues. We find ourselves at Great Aunt Mildred's grand mansion, where her niece Angeline, her caretaker, is in conversation with her neighbor.
And that's what I couldn't understand, you see. I don't want to, but the wasps are such a nuisance.
I see, I must be going. I have a few errands left in town.
Hello, Angeline.
Oh, hello, Brandon. I didn't see you there. I was just chatting with Mr. Compton, our new neighbor. I'm afraid I've kept him talking for 2 hours about wasps.
I must be going.
Goodbye. Brandon, the long-lost scientific explorer returns. How are your wild tarantulas, brother? It's been ages since I've seen you.
Good, thanks. The tarantulas are fine. They say, hello. Everything in the Amazon either wants to eat you or kill you. How are your wasps?
I think I've got most of them.
But Angeline, is Great Aunt Mildred really going to cut us out of her will?
She is, I'm afraid. Oh, look! Nero's just arrived. The siblings are back together again.
Hello, Angeline. Hello, Brandon.
Brandon, go help Nero with his bags.
Oh, no, I'm fine. Just, there. Whew. It's so good to see you again, Brandon. Angeline. Is it true? Are we being cut out of the will?
Yes. No use talking about it. Nero, go inside and set out the sherry in the library. Brandon, bring in Nero's trunks and put them in the parlor. Aunt Mildred will want dinner any minute now, and I haven't been in the house for hours. Mr. Compton kept me talking outside about wasps.
How could Aunt Mildred manage without you, Angeline?
She couldn't. Now move along, you two. Dinner awaits. Just put the trunk down there, Brandon. How is the sherry coming along, Nero?
Just fine. It's just like Aunt Mildred to throw a party when she's writing us all out of her will.
Has she signed the will yet?
You'll have to ask her, Brandon. I ought to call her downstairs. Aunt Mildred! Auntie! Everyone's waiting.
Coming, dear. Just finishing my Christmas cards. Have you seen my stamps?
I left the stamps on the desk for you, Auntie. She's coming.
It's true, then. Great Aunt Mildew is going to cut us out of her will.
Better than that. It's all going to that local charity. What was it called again, Angeline?
Kittens in Distress, I believe.
Oh, that's right. She must never have gotten over Uncle Roderick's death. He was always so good with cats. Does she still have Mr. Whiskers about? Oh, yes. There he is.
Without our inheritance, I have no idea how I'm going to fund my medical practice. We're still mired in debt.
And I've committed to 3 more Amazonian research expeditions. How would you like to tell a native tribe that we can't pay our bills? Without Aunt Mildred's financing, we're doomed.
Shush, you two. She's coming down.
Oh, nephew Brandon and nephew Nero. What a delight to see you again. Mwah!
Great Aunt Mildred.
Mildred!
A toast. We need a toast to your successes. You two have been telling me for years how successful you are, so now you don't need me and my silly money any longer. No, the kittens are the truly needy ones here. We need a toast to your success and to the kittens in distress. Oh, that rhymes. I must write that down. Nero, you pour the sherry.
Here you are, and you, and you, and me.
A toast.
To the kittens.
Huzzah!
Aunt Mildred, you don't look so well. Aunt Mildred?
I'm fine. Something...
Aunt Mildred! Nero, come here quick!
She's dead!
She's dead?
Quick, call a doctor!
I am a doctor!
The sherry! The sherry has been poisoned!
Then call the inspector! Thank you for coming so quickly, Inspector.
Of course. Run me through the circumstances once more.
Aunt Mildred called us all together for a last Christmas party before she cut us out of her will.
And now she's died of poisoned sherry.
With her tongue being swollen and the suddenness of her death, she could only have been poisoned within the last hour.
In the last hour?
In the last hour!
In the last hour? No one was near her. Nero, you poured the sherry. You must have poisoned it.
We all drank the sherry. It wasn't poisoned. But you poisoned her with one of your spiders from the Amazon.
I wasn't near her before she came downstairs. Angeline was with her all day. She did it.
Calm, everyone, calm now. Where have you all been for the past hour? We'll begin with you, Angeline.
I wasn't near her all afternoon. I was outside talking with Mr. Conklin for hours. Brandon and Nero will swear to it.
It's true.
That's right. She was taking care of the wasps when I pulled up.
And you, Brandon?
I carried in Nero's trunks and stayed with Nero and Angeline.
You carried in the trunks, you say. And you, Nero?
I came in and poured the sherry for everyone.
What was Great Aunt Mildred doing during this time?
She was working on her Christmas cards. She called down for her stamps, I remember. None of us saw her before she came down and died.
That does it. There's only one person who could have been the murderer, and I know who it is.
Do you know who killed Great Aunt Mildred at the Christmas party? Are you as clever as the inspector? Well, after this next delicious song from the smash hit Irving Sisters, we'll return for part 2 and the solution to Murder for Christmas.
Do you see that, sisters? Up on the housetop, reindeer paws. Out jumps good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney with lots of toys. All for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, click, click. Down through the chimney with old Saint Nick.
Don't forget me, Santa.
First comes the stocking of little Nell. Oh dear Santa, fill it well. Give her a dolly that laughs and cries, one that will open and shut her eyes. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, click, click. Down through the chimney with old Saint Nick. Well, would you look at that? Look in the stocking of little Bill. Oh, just see that glorious fill. Here is a hammer and lots of tacks, whistle and a ball and a set of jacks. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, clickety, clickety, click. Down through the chimney with old Saint Nick.
Doesn't that song remind you of murder? And now, back to part 2 and the solution to Murder for Christmas.
What do you mean, Inspector? None of us went near Aunt Mildred.
You didn't have to, Angeline.
Are you implying that Angeline had something to do with Aunt Mildred's death?
What were you doing outside in the garden, Angeline, before you talked to Mr. Conklin?
You were killing the wasp nests, weren't you?
And what do people normally use to kill wasps?
Everyone uses cyanide spray, don't they?
But I was never near Aunt Mildred. How could I have poisoned her?
What was Aunt Mildred doing before she came down?
She was sending out Christmas cards. She called down asking Angeline where the stamps were.
Exactly. Angeline put cyanide poison on the stamps, which Great Aunt Mildred then licked off. Aunt Mildred was already doomed to die by the time she came downstairs.
That's why her tongue was swollen, from the stamps. Angeline, how could you?
She cut us all out of her will. After years of taking care of her, I was going to lose my inheritance to kittens. Kittens! She was going to ruin us all.
You're coming down to the station, Angeline. It was clever to use stamps to poison Aunt Mildred, but you pushed the envelope too far. This Christmas, you're licked.
Did you solve the mystery of Great Aunt Mildred's death? Were you more clever than the inspector? You can always try again in the next installment of 5-Minute Mysteries, which may not be until next Christmas. You have plenty of time to practice. Until next time, this has been another 5-Minute Mystery. And next up...